American. And I feel like that is untapped potential. I see other political parties and folks, they ignore places like this because they write it off. And I'm tired of seeing places like this written off because you have a quality of talent, ideas, diverse geographies here. And it's time to really make an impact here. And I believe Mississippi is fertile ground and it's the place to do it.
I think the thing is just really bizarre is that outside of the African American, Black, Caribbean community, people do not realize that most Black people live in the South.
Yes, absolutely correct. There's actually a migration back to the South, if you want to be honest. Yeah. A lot of folks are moving back to the South because of the cost of living and quality of life, to be honest. And, a lot of folks that are older, they can't take the cold, they complain about their arthritis. So what that place to move them into the South? It's, like I said, it's low cost of living. If you like rural areas, it's perfect. If you like urban areas, it's perfect. And it's very diverse, a lot of diverse geography. And that, to me, that's what makes it really cool to live down here.
And what is like some of the, bigger challenges in Mississippi right now?
One of the biggest challenges for me here is a lot of poverty. We have a very high poverty rate here. And I believe a lot of it has to do with places that are isolated. You have whole communities that have almost 40, 50 minutes away from their local grocery store. You have the cost. We talk about the cost of living here, but the pay, it's really rough. I believe a lot of it has to do specifically towards the African American community, multi-generational poverty that has lasted since the beginning of emancipation all the way down. And when you've had laws that have told people that you can't pass down wealth or that the government can come and take your stuff simply because they want your property and you have no way to fight back, and the city council is against you, the police chief is against you, and everybody else is against you, it's going to be hard. So the biggest issue here, I believe, is income inequality and poverty here.
Poverty, and I mean that's but that's not saying that's a national problem for the African American community. But I think the thing that's good now is that people are going to Mississippi, they are going to Alabama, and we can work on that together as a national issue. It's not just viewed as people are, this is just an issue that takes place in LA and New York, which to me, I feel like LA and New York is over amplified for the African American experience. Yes, we should still talk about us in regards to that, but also most of us live in the South. So that deserves to have, even children's books. I thought about it. I'm like, even children's books will all take place in New York and LA. What kind of sense does that make? Somebody needs to make a children's book in Mississippi. They make.
Girl, you gave me an idea, girl. You gave me an idea, for real.
Yes,
but where are your cousins that y'all forget? People like, I got cousins down south. Hello, this is who we are.
Exactly. So what, kind of like to flip on that, you kind of already brought up a little bit of this, but what are the best parts of Mississippi?
The people. The people here are fantastic. Another thing is the food. When I first moved here, I gained like 20 pounds. Everything, everybody loves to talk about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving here is every day, honey.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. I'm like, you can get some peach cobbler over here, pecan pie over here. It is everywhere. And for me, honestly, it's the people in the community here. The folks here are so good and so kind. I wish more people would understand that. Like I said, I'm originally from New York, but my family migrated from the South during the Great Migration. And so that kind of sensibility is still with me today. But I think a lot of us have lost that, who are people that have dealt with the Great Migration. And so I still have that connection. I still say fitna, fixna, and all that other stuff because my grandparents spoke that way. So it's still there. But yeah, it's the people, the community, the sense of the neighbor really cares about you. If they see you walking down the street, you don't have to worry about them being an axe murderer. They'll be like, they'll know who you are. Like, hey, I see you every day. Hey, it's just that sense of community. When I go running, pre-COVID, you would see the same people over and over again, and you get to know them. And like I said, when you say hi to somebody, like in New York, if you say hi, they think you're crazy. If you say hi here, they'll be like, hey, how you doing, honey? So it's that kind of thing.
Well, that's what I've noticed. It was very, when I have gone down to the South, people are very friendly. very kind of reminds you of older Black people in the city. Why don't you speak? Why don't you say hello? Like everybody was trying to help me. I think I went to it was Nashville, I guess Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes.
Everyone was trying to help me. Like all the Black people were like, "Let me help you. Let me take you here. Let me take you there." And it was really,
come here, baby.
yeah. It was really nice. I look lost. You know, I'm from Los Angeles. So I always look like I'm a little bit out of it. Aww. So, what do you feel that Mississippi can flip blue in 2024 presidential?
We came so close in with Mike Espy last year, and I think it can happen. I really believe it can happen. Mike Espy is a transformational candidate. He's not once in a lifetime because you have a lot of talent like him here. I just think that the rest of the country got to see someone who's very exceptional and is very representative of Mississippi on the nationwide and on a national scale. But yes, we do have a chance with the large demographics of people of color here, especially African Americans. We have a growing Latino population here. There is a chance. And then you also have, there are folks that are, happen to be, majority white who also vote, tend to vote, lean towards that direction. So there is a chance here. And remember, Mississippi legalized weed before New York, okay?
Did? I did not know that.
They legalized weed last year, honey. So if they can do that, anything can happen here.
Yeah, anything. Well, I think one of the things one of the challenges that I think people feel that the South is really super conservative, and there are some conservative aspects of the South, but we all know, Atlanta, New Orleans, we know these places are not. We're like, what do you mean by conservative? These are places that are, kind of like, they're fun places. They're places where people, they laugh. And Memphis, Tennessee.
Nashville.
Yeah, exactly. Do you feel that, it's racially diverse, it's age diverse. Now that there are Black people from, moving back home,
yes.
Are they being welcomed by time residents? Or they're like, "Oh, great that you're here," or are
Welcome
they kind of
home,
like, "Yeah, now they are okay.
It's about time." Where you been? Okay. Yes, they are welcome here. They are definitely welcome here. When I first moved here to the South, I was kind of like, "Oh my God," it was like, but I was so welcome. I met so many wonderful people, and people were super kind to me. It's in some places it's kind of hard to navigate, but it wasn't here. And like I said, the community here was pretty welcoming. So I've been pretty blessed, absolutely blessed.
Yes. And do you feel, one thing I want to note, why do you feel that the voter suppression in Mississippi was accepted for so long? It's, the most African Americans, the highest number proportion wise is in Mississippi. Why do you think for so long people have accepted Mississippi as being, well, the people, their vote's going to be suppressed, so we're not going to really worry about it? Why do you think that was accepted?
Because it's Mississippi. Let's be real. The history of racism going way back, when you see desegregation with the schools here, how people fought so hard against desegregation, what happened with white flight from them going to public schools to creating their own private schools, things like that. That's why people have accepted it. It's been so ingrained. We just got rid of the Confederate flag last year. So, and they just recently, and people are going to be surprised, but recently, it's only been like a few years where they actually declared slavery here illegal. So that's why people feel the way they do. And they're perfectly justified. Systemic racism is like so ingrained in the culture that it's normalized. And when someone says this is not right, they look like they're, this is our culture, this is who we are. And then I'll be honest with you, Mississippi is a very diverse state, but there's a lot of community. Your neighbor might be white, your other neighbor might be Latino, your other neighbor might be African American. And so you have that intermixing, and people are getting married and having families. And so that curtain is starting to fall, and you can see it here every single day with like I said, with your neighbors and your friends and even family members here.
In some ways, this is kind of spurring from your comments. In some ways, is Mississippi more racially integrated